Hello everybody, I'm Benito Wainwright and try to hold back the tears because it's the final instalment of Biology from the Bedroom. Nevertheless, social distancing must continue, so I'm afraid we must continue pretending to ignore acquaintances we see in the supermarket. Actually, come to think of it, I did that anyway. Today we finally find out who is the most promising young biology star of tomorrow. So with that in mind, who have we got today? His name is Callum McLellan, an evolutionary ecologist from the University of Bristol. Upon graduating with a first-class degree in biology, Callum undertook a Masters by Research where he investigated the mechanisms by which avian predators learn about the toxicity of warningly coloured caterpillars. Since then, he's embarked on a PhD project with the aim of disentangling the selective drivers of gregarious behaviour in Lepidopteran caterpillars. So, is all this talk of caterpillars a sign of Callum's larval immaturity, or has he already metamorphosed into a spectacular academic research butterfly? There's only one way to find out, so without further ado, let's beam potential science leader of the future, Callum McLellan, into my bedroom. Hello, Callum, how are you?
Oh, I knew I'd find this funny. Yes. Hello, Benito.
How is lockdown treating you? You seem to be in a very cheerful mood. Are you happy with lockdown?
Yeah, I can't complain. And I get to be on your podcast, so my day just got a whole lot better.
Oh, that is lovely. And we've been doing this every week, but if you could summarise the current situation that we're going through right now in just one word, what would that word be, Callum?
Well, Benito, there really is no precedent for these times, so I think the word I would use is unparalleled.
I beg your pardon?
Unparalleled.
Unparalleled. All right, Callum. All right. Okay, right. Let's not bring the tone down. So, Callum, your academic career so far has focused around insects, more specifically caterpillars. They're amazing, aren't they? In fact, I've fallen in love with them. You know what? Caterpillars, they always give me butterflies, Callum, I have to say. And in your masters, you were studying specifically the cinnabar moth caterpillar, which is quite a fascinating species. So before we go into talking about what you did, do you want to tell us a little bit about the ecology and the appearance of these little creatures?
Yeah, they're fantastic how they look. So if you imagine a sock, a rugby player's jersey, or one of their socks, that's basically what these caterpillars look like. They're just black and yellow striped all down their body. And they feed specifically on this one plant known as ragwort. And this plant produces toxins to stop herbivores from eating it. However, the cinnabar caterpillars have evolved a resistance to this toxin, and they're actually able to sequester it into their own bodies to use as a defense against predators.
But what were you specifically investigating in these cinnabar moths, caterpillars?
Because they are, as I mentioned, specialised onto this one ragwort plant, any birds, which are their main predators, any birds that encounter them are only ever going to find them on this ragwort plant. Now, ragwort also itself has these quite conspicuous yellow flowers, and so my hypothesis was, if birds are only ever finding them on ragwort, and then they peck them and they taste bad for the birds, are the birds then making an association between that bad experience of eating the caterpillar and the plant where they found the caterpillar?
Very nice. God, that reminds me of The Hungry Caterpillar. Not one of my favourite books, actually, Callum. It's full of holes, that story. Anyway, so you're now focusing on another aspect of caterpillar behaviour, and you're investigating the evolution of gregariousness. Do you want to explain to us what gregarious actually means?
Yeah, so it's grouping behaviour. There's actually a lot of different species of caterpillar that do aggregate. So my PhD is looking at how this behaviour evolves and sort of what are the costs and benefits specifically of this behaviour in caterpillars.
Right. So that term social butterfly is actually incorrect, isn't it? It should be social caterpillar.
Well, you do have... Think of the monarch aggregations and stuff there.
That is true.
On a huge scale. An unprecedented scale, you might say.
Yeah, very good. Okay, fair enough. Once I actually saw a caterpillar diving deep into the core of the earth. Can you believe that, Callum? I think it must have been in its larval stage at that point.
God. Oh,
anyway, it's quite enough of that.
Man. That was cheap.
Anyway, we must stress at this point that you're still at the very start of your PhD. But what have you done so far? Because I hear you've done something which could be described as a comparative analysis between species. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Basically, I looked at hundreds of different genera of butterflies and worked my way through each one. And
just like the hungry caterpillar.
Yeah. Once I had all of that information and all of that data, I compiled it and found that the most likely evolutionary pathway for gregariousness starts with an ancestor that was cryptic, solitary, and had no structural defences. This caterpillar then evolved spines or something like that. This structural defence allowed it to evolve warning coloration. It became more beneficial to evolve warning coloration. And finally, after those two traits had been evolved, it was then most likely to evolve gregariousness.
Right, God, that's kind of the step-by-step story of what happened in hundreds of millions of years, I imagine, or tens of millions of years. Anyway, we're in the middle of a pandemic, Callum. I don't know whether you've realised. And obviously it's affecting everybody. There's no doubt about that. But postgraduate biologists are no exception. How is this affecting you, Callum? Has your research been seriously disrupted by the lockdown?
Right now, what I would be doing if there wasn't this lockdown is I'd be in the lab performing some behavioural experiments on the large and the small cabbage white. But anyway, because I'm not allowed into the labs at the moment, I've been doing a literature review instead. But I do love a good literature review, so you can get really stuck in.
Yes, good stuff. Also, on Biology from the Bedroom, we also want to talk about times where things haven't quite gone to plan. Is this something which you can relate to, Callum? Has there been a time where things haven't gone quite right for you?
There was, yeah. It was during my masters. I was creating these fake caterpillars by rolling up paper tubes, which took absolutely ages. It was a really, really fiddly job.
Yeah.
So I made all these tubes and stuck them together, and then I cycled out to the field site where I was pinning them to the plants. It was my job to go back and check them twice a day, so I cycled all this way. And then that night, it absolutely chucked it down with rain. And I went back to check on these paper tubes, but the glue that I'd used to stick them together was Pritt stick, which is, I found out then, is completely water soluble. So all of these paper tubes had just sprung open, and they were then rectangles, which didn't look anything like caterpillars.
No, I imagine.
I had to shut the experiment down and cycle home.
Goodness me, I don't think you watched that Blue Peter tutorial all the way through, did you, Karen? When you're making paper caterpillars, don't use Pritt stick glue. That was the first lesson. Yeah. We want to put our guests through their paces, if that's all right. And in order to do that, Callum, we need to put you through the cryptic question clock quiz.
Oh, cryptic question, where's it gonna be? Where's it gonna be? Cryptic question, where's it gonna be? Where's it gonna be? Cryptic question, where's it gonna be? Where's it gonna be?
This is a section of the show where we get our guests to answer as many biology-related questions as they can in 60 seconds. But there's an added twist, and that is the cryptic question. So one of the answers to the questions I'm about to ask you is also an answer to a question in a non-biology related area. Now, so far, I have to admit, no one has got the cryptic question yet, which I'll be honest with you, Callum, doesn't look great. Right, the producers aren't best pleased. This week, that non-biology related area is the 1994 and 2019 Walt Disney film, The Lion King. All right?
Oh,
Lion
God.
King.
Okay.
Now, if you're able to spot the cryptic question, you must let me know using your signature buzzer. And your buzzer, Callum, shall be the sound of Bruce Forsyth finding his first ever elephant hawk moth larva. Callum, can you give me an indication on what that might sound like, please?
Nice to find you. To find you. Nice.
Very good, very good. At the end of this, either you or Sam England will be crowned most promising young biologist in the country. For context, Sam has been at the top of the leaderboard for the last 7 weeks. I have felt my telomeres shortening in that time, Callum. So, if you can do anything about it, that would be great. Callum, are you ready to face the cryptic question clock quiz?
I am.
In that case, your time starts now. The Asian elephant is native to which continent?
Asia.
Correct. The artificial injection of an inactive form of a pathogen into the body to stimulate an immune response is known as what? Correct. Nucleotide of DNA consists of a base, a hexosugar, and which other component?
Carbon.
Incorrect. What kind of community best summarises the final stage of ecological succession?
Eusociality.
Incorrect. To what order of mammals do the platypus and echidna belong to?
Monotremes.
Correct. A prominent plate-like structure covering the thorax of many insects is known by what name?
The cape. I don't know.
Incorrect. What is the name of the organ used for electroreception in sharks and rays?
The lateral line. And the other one's a carapace, right?
Incorrect. A pride is the collective name for a group of which big African cat?
Lions.
Correct. Okay, that's the end of the time.
Nice to find you. To find you. Nice.
Yes, Callum?
Benito, wasn't the main character of the Walt Disney film The Lion King a lion?
That's your final answer, is it? Has Callum finally found the cryptic question? I can tell you he has!
Oh, cryptic question, there it is, cryptic question, there it is, cryptic question, there it is.
Unfortunately, it doesn't get you any extra points, but it's nice that you got it nevertheless, isn't it? At the end of that, you have got an almost respectable 4 points, which doesn't put you at the top of the cryptic question clock quiz leaderboard, which means Sam England is our champion, and we'll chat to him later on in the show. I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxed, don't you think, after all of that? We're going to play a little game, Callum, which I like to call Gregarious.
Gregarious.
I'm about to play you clips of the bioacoustic landscape of 3 areas. All you need to do is tell me which one of them belongs to Greg.
Gregarious.
Would you like to play the 3 sounds, please? Sound A. Sound B. Sound C.
Hi, Greg.
Sound C.
Sound C. That's your final answer, is it?
That's my final answer.
It's a good guess, but incorrect. I'm afraid the correct answer was sound B. Never mind, which, to be fair, would have been obvious if you heard what happened next.
Hi, Greg. Get off my land.
Given that we're in the same PhD cohort, I thought it would be a good opportunity to give people an insight into the type of banter in the postgraduate community, because we know how to have fun, don't we? It isn't all just data crunching. We have a jolly good time. So I thought you might like to share a prank you played on our first ever guest, Harry Layfield, involving free food and facial hair.
So there's a restaurant down the road from the uni building called Beard, spelt as in beer, the drink, with a D on the end. I don't know why it came into my head, but I told the people in the office that if you have a beard, they give you your lunch for free. And there was uproar from my co-workers.
Yes.
Who were saying, isn't that really sexist, and things like, what about people who can't grow beards? To which I replied, well, they like it if you're inventive. So I'm sure if you put on a fake beard, they would really appreciate that, and you would still get the free lunch. Which, for some reason, everyone believed. No one questioned. To which Harry proceeded to cut out a beard shape out of an envelope that he had on his desk. Even asked me for help to sellotape it to his head. And then walked down the road wearing this thing, walked through the entire uni building, people giving him funny looks. And then when we got to the restaurant, our waitress even asked, why have you got that on your face? And he still didn't clock. And so he then sat there for the entire meal with this fake beard on. And then when it came to pay, he went up and she said, that's £5, please. By this time I was outside on the floor crying with laughter.
Yeah, no, you should have seen his face. I mean, it had a beard on it. Anyway, well, thank you so much, Callum, for coming on Biology from the Bedroom. I now have to crown Britain's most promising biologist. But whilst we make that transition, what song would you like me to play and why?
Can we have, please, Earth, Wind and Fire, September? Just because...
That's when the lockdown will be lifted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we haven't got copyright permission to that song, I'm afraid, Callum.
It was worth a try.
But we do have something really special for you here on Biology from the Bedroom, as well as showcasing the young biological stars of tomorrow. As it's the series finale, I've managed to find one of the musical stars of tomorrow too. During my daily scroll of the internet, I stumbled across a piece of music which not only will surely shake the airwaves in weeks to come, but its lyrics are also beautifully complementary to your research interests, Callum. It is the perfect bridge, the sweet spot, if you like, between popular culture and academia, and the song is called Caterpillar. And I think it actually truly encapsulates the raw and genuine passion which has shone through each and every one of my guests that have taken part in Biology from the Bedroom. So take a listen.
Me love the way you move your body like a caterpillar. Me love the way you move your body like a caterpillar. Caterpillar like a caterpillar. Caterpillar like a caterpillar. Caterpillar like a caterpillar. The way you move your body like a caterpillar.
Simply fabulous. That was Duffler Dilligon with Caterpillar. Yeah. All right. Well, no, thank you. Thank you. And that was the awesome Callum McLellan, an evolutionary ecologist who studies caterpillars. Yeah. Right, yeah, quite enough. Enough. Shut the hell up! But now it's time for a really special moment. Sam England is a young sensory ecologist at the University of Bristol. With only a GCSE in biology to his name, through sheer talent and perseverance, he has worked his way up through the ranks in the world of biology academia, not only securing himself a PhD position, but also the title of Biology from the Bedroom's most promising young research biologist in the country. Sam, welcome back. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me back again.
And what have you been getting up to since we last spoke? Got much work done since then?
Oh, well, no, none at all, because I've been absolutely bricking it, sweating it out every week, waiting for the podcast to come out to see if I'm still in the lead.
Well, here we are. So, to all the people out there, what would you like to say to all the people and scientists and viewers that have helped you along this incredible journey?
I'm just very relieved because obviously we're kind of in a time that...
Well, that's it, folks. Thank you so much to all my Biology from the Bedroom guests, and also to you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast as much as I have making it, and if you did, please do let me know, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to receive the latest updates on my wildlife and science adventures. In the meantime, we'll be back in the next global pandemic. See you next time, everybody!